Good morning. Let's do the astro weather for Monday, the 16th of October. So we could have had some very interesting dreams last night showing up. We had the moon in Scorpio making an aspect with Lilith in Virgo just after midnight. So this would have been a positive but very deep introspective look at our critical natures. So if you were asleep, this could have brought up dreams of past fears, dreams of how failure to understand your own needs and your own wants over somebody else's has affected sort of your future and where you feel secure. So a very interesting night of dreams. Then we did have at 1 a.m. as well an aspect with the moon in Scorpio again with Neptune in Pisces. So this would have mixed very interestingly with that Lilith energy this would have looked more into our illusions and delusions and our shadowland, but on a very deep perspective, because we have both Scorpio representing our subconscious and Neptune and Pisces representing that kind of dreamland space. So you could have dreamed of places that you had addictions, places that you fell into fear, places that have been dreams and fantasies of yours that you have wanted to bring into reality. And looking at it through that Lilith critical eye could have been ways in which you have stopped yourself from achieving that. Now, we could have also woken up in a very irritated mood, especially if we were getting up quite early, because at 2:35 there was a conjunction between the moon and Mars, both in Scorpio. So this aspect can make you very irritable, very violent. It can make you want to get into gossipy behavior. It can make you want to be very boastful, but it is also a passionate energy. So it's that kind of emotionally deep Scorpio moon making an aspect with a very intense and secretive but very powerful Scorpio Mars. And it could have had you waking up feeling very direct in what you wanted to achieve today, and very direct if you had to have conversations with people that are more of a taboo nature, which I think is a very interesting aspect to be waking up with in Australia. After the referendum results on the weekend, I feel like there definitely would have been some boastful and passionate conversations taking place under that Scorpio moon energy this morning. So at 6:43 a.m. there was a quincunx between the Sun and Uranus. So this could have brought up sort of an annoying change for the day, or an annoying compromise, or you woke up with one thing in mind and it's changed. So this energy is still around, and you could be experiencing that probably up until lunchtime. There could be some annoying changes coming into your day. So just be aware of that and be ready for compromise. Remembering also that people could have woken up in quite a violent and aggressive mood, ready to fight you over these changes. Then we have at 9:50, so just gone past, a really nice aspect, the moon in Scorpio sextiling Venus in Virgo. So when the moon sextiles Venus, it does give us a very nice relationship energy, very good for relationship connections and having people over and chatting with people we like. Very good also for, beautifying your space, okay? So we are dealing with, again, the moon in Scorpio, so remembering that kind of deep, intense kind of energy. It does sometimes like to be alone. Scorpio energy does a lot of the time prefer animals over humans because of its need to have a deep, deep connection with the people. So often if it doesn't get that deep connection, it's not interested. So making a sextile here with Virgo and Venus, and Virgo Venus is also very critical of the way that it builds relationships, and it wants to give and receive reciprocal care and reciprocal service. It's very service orientated, and it very much wants to kind of critically look at the relationships that we have. So even though this is a positive aspect, it could have been quite a deep aspect with how you actually sort of took in your relationship connections in this present moment. Okay, then that's kind of the energy for the day until we get to later tonight. So then we are 6:13 p.m. tonight. There's sort of like an underlying tension energy and like stress on how to take action. So this is like it's like kind of being poked into something triggering your shadow. So we're looking at, again, that moon in Scorpio, so trying to look deeply into the emotions, the shadow side, the fears and addictions. And it's coming up against Neptune in Pisces, which is that kind of illusional, delusional space. And so the moon in Scorpio wants to be able to see through the illusions that Neptune and Pisces energy puts up. So our intuition will be very deep. Both Scorpio and Pisces are quite intuitive archetypes, but we will want to understand people. So there could be a situation coming up tonight that is you're going to intuitively feel that something needs to be spoken about, and it's going to be that underlying tension of how to move forward with that and how to start that conversation, because that Neptune in Pisces, it could potentially give you that feeling that you're imagining it, and that the stress that you're feeling is not real. And the only way kind of through that energy is to talk about it. And we have got Mercury in Libra right now, so we are very supported to talk about these ideals. And the moon in Scorpio is very comfortable in taboo and shadowland conversation about fears and addictions. So if you do feel that underlying tension and stress tonight, and it does feel intuitively like a conversation needs to be had, then do remember that your intuition right now is quite deep, and your need to understand somebody on that level will push you forward. Again, moon in Scorpio, and Scorpio is also in Mars, so we will feel quite pushed to have the conversation. But just remember that Scorpio can be very much, this is how you do things. And because it knows itself on a very deep level, and because it does have that kind of possessive nature over the things that it knows, we can see ourselves being quite forceful with our own beliefs. So just be aware of that. Try and lean a little bit more into that Mercury and Libra energy that we've got around now, and try and see it from all sides of the conversation. Then we have, so this one's not going to help us out, okay? We have got an opposition, so this is 10:30 p.m., an opposition between the moon in Scorpio and Jupiter in Taurus. And now when the moon comes up against Jupiter like this, it really puts us in opposition with authority. So people in your life who are an authority to you, bosses, parents, maybe somebody in the relationship if you're discussing a specific ideal inside of the relationship, people who feel like authority to you, or even the law you could be coming up against if you are getting pulled over by the police. And this is like, it's the energy of wanting to fight back against that, okay? Particularly with that Scorpio moon being very, very intense this time around. So you could also be prone to extravagance and waste. So if you are out tonight, just be aware of that and don't push too far with your extravagance, because it's not an energy that you are going to enjoy when you wake up tomorrow. There is also, it's kind of fight energy, okay? When we've got an opposition, it is kind of fight energy. So it could bring up conflicts. You could feel like you're at a disadvantage over something. There could be problems in your love relationship. So, this is that idea that something that came up under that Scorpio moon Neptune Pisces aspect at 6 p.m. could still be bubbling under the surface if you didn't take the time to figure it out. And then 10:30, that's when we're going to get hit with this fight energy. And we are, we're going to, it's that energy of either being fight energy or very intense, spicy energy. So depending on how you deal with your inner rage, one of those two things could come out. And you could be channeling this kind of fight energy, this deep taboo fight energy in through a fight or in through your sexual energy. The final aspect is at 11:41 p.m., which is a quintile between the Scorpio moon and Lilith in Virgo again. So this could make us emotionally restless. The shadows are starting to be uncovered for us to look at in a discerning way. So Scorpio moon wants us to go deep, and Lilith in Virgo wants us to be discerning, to see the truth about how our critical and self-judgmental natures are affecting us emotionally, is what we're looking at here. So have a nice day, and I will see you tomorrow.